Um, okay, and what is the dream behind the course, and why we launched such a course, for you. So there has been a lot of changes in the industry over the last few years. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, and during COVID. So we've been through three main stages of changes in pharmaceuticals and biotech, and that was reflected in the marketing aspects, in the managerial decision-making process, in the identity of pharmaceuticals and responsibility of pharmaceutical industry toward global health. So the MSc Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management was launched to address these and highlight these challenges. And for those who would like to establish themselves in such an industry, it is quite important to identify these stages and try to important, I call it waves of business, business changes in the environment, and how this will impact you and impact, the industry in general. I believe pharmaceuticals, they are responsible for the healthcare. They are the engines of healthcare industry, and without pharmaceuticals, without drugs, we won't have the ability to support patients and to keep them on the right track. So who we are the first business school, for health, that is dedicated for health. It is basically, we aim to equip the next generation of healthcare and healthcare management leaders. If you look at the photos, you can see me here in the middle, in the right side, and you can see those are our first cohort of students this year, who are joining this course. And what we are trying to do is we try to reimagine healthcare management, and we try to look at these challenges. We dismantle the structure of the pharmaceuticals, and we try to analyze and criticize and probably be able to lead the change and to be part of the changes, in the industry. So we inspire individuals, we inspire leaders, whilst the pharmaceutical business should be sustained and should remain profitable, but and again, we are basically responsible to the healthcare industry, not only in locally, but it is also globally. So the pharmaceutical companies, they have different maps and different globalized attitude toward their products. Patients, they have similar needs, but they have different behaviors. So where pharmaceutical industry would come, into that, and how we can basically standardize certain medicines to be used overseas and locally. So looking again at the Global Business School for Health, we equip you with the skills that you need. I did my degree in pharmacy 22 years ago, and since then I've been engaged in managing and distribution and marketing different products. I don't remember how many products I launched, to be honest. I worked for the generic pharmaceutical company and Procter & Gamble for a while. Then I moved to academia. And even my research is about pharmaceuticals. So we are basically a team who would help people, to launch their products and projects in pharmaceuticals and healthcare. This is who we are. We are the Global Business School for Health. So the MSc, and again, all these photos that you see here were taken by my colleague Adam and Sophie. Those all are your colleagues who are basically in this course this year. So MSc Biotech and Pharmaceutical Management, it advances your knowledge in the sector from business development and management perspective. So it better understands the forces driving the science and business. So even if you have an innovative product, even if you have the most innovative product in the world and you don't manage it very well, then obviously this product will gonna fail. So we teach you, we put the cap on, from business point of view, and we give you these tools, and I call these are the, your toolbox after you graduate, how to unlock, different projects and different cases. The anchor discipline we have is pharmacoeconomics, and we've got also policies and practices that I teach and I lead, which is basically the probably I'm the only one who's teaching this from a strategic perspective for pharmaceuticals, and how policies and practices would have an impact on the strategic direction of pharmaceuticals. And it is basically for those who would like to start up a business, in biotech and pharmaceuticals. So if you are basically aiming to work in an innovative product that you would like to launch later on, so this course is basically for you. Or basically you would like to join an existing company, an existing business, and we will also equip you with the terms that they use and the ideas that they would like our students to have before they graduate. I'll talk about this anyway in a few slides. So the program cost for UK local students is 18K, and for the international 30 to 100K, 32K, I mean. And the start date will be September. Well, we already started in September 2022, so that will be September 2023, and it lasts for 12 months. And we also welcome part-time students. We also welcome students with experience, as I'll speak later on. And the location will be UCL East in London, which is the east side of London. I don't know how many of you have been to London before, or you are basically local here in London, or so UCL East is a booming and emerging area of London where a lot of investments are in there, and we expect this area to be one of the most attractive opportunities for businesses and companies to move to that area as well, like UCL. So admissions, a UK degree in health science, even business and economics, or subject related area, or an overseas qualification with an equivalent standard of 2:1. So what we are basically looking for is basically an undergrad degree in any discipline. Sometimes if you don't have a relevant degree classification, but you might have an extensive work experience, you're welcome to apply, and we consider this in individual basis. So we might have an interview with you, or we might have a chat with you, just to set the expectations right. I feel responsible, to make sure that this course would fit with your dreams and with your, what do you want to do after you graduate. So I look at all applications just to make sure I understand each applicant, the future of your application, and what do you really want to do after you graduate. Personal statement, I would say this is a big investment, and I would say invest your time in writing your personal statement. Why do you want to join the course? Why this course is for you? There is a lot of competition on the places that we have. We have limited number of places, so a lot of competition in there. So we want to make sure that those who are basically unique in their approach and they have good personal statement, they will be able to to join the course. So make this as an investment and make it worth it. And I always say that even when you apply for a job, your personal statement it needs a lot of investment. So please consider the personal statement as part of your updated document every year or every 6 months even. So please invest in the personal statement. We read the personal statements and we make sure that this would fit with the vision and the mission of the program. And we need one reference letter from one referee. So here, who is the program for? You may already work in biotech and pharmaceutical management, but wish to cross over into management. So you either work in the biopharmaceutical industry and you would like to, to climb the ladder very quickly and try to look at your career in there, or you maybe work in a consultancy capacity, like those who basically we've got a few consultants joining, and they are basically here, as a consultant, and they want to build their career into the biotech and pharmaceutical management. They want to have a specialized knowledge about their clients, and that specialized knowledge is basically taken from that course. And basically, you would like to have an ideal, versatile degree is ideal for a range of individuals who want to work in biotech and pharmaceuticals, or basically you would like to start up a company or start up a small, tiny businesses. There are a lot of, startups of biotech, and the government here in the UK supports that. And that support comes with tax deduction, support employability, and again, pharmaceutical companies are becoming into more a partnership approach with those small, medium enterprises, just to acquire the experience or the creative and innovative products. That would be part of the disruption of the in the industry, and that would lead us to a big change in how we treat patients and how we look at healthcare, probably in the coming 50 years. So being part of the of that change, being part of the of that course would give you the exposure that you need basically for this industry. And again, more photos, more lovely photos here. So we have a 1 week induction that enables students to focus on personal and professional development. And students are invited to complete an NSS self-paced course on global health. So we aim to look at you. I believe that each one of you has his own institution. You have your own mission and vision and values that you would like to continue, doing. And that should fit perfectly. There should be fit is an important word in that course, is how we fit our strengths and weaknesses into that industry, how we cover our weaknesses with strengths, and how we make sure that we've got the investments right. So it's 180 credits, 6 compulsory module 15 credits, 1 compulsory module 30 credits, and there are two 30 credit projects that you would basically be involved in, which are the business projects and the research projects. In term 1, you will have a clinical trials and statistics and regulatory frameworks, and you will see me again in the biotech, in the policies and practices and the pharmacoeconomics. But we're in term 2, we're focusing too much on the business level analysis. So we focus on the supply chain, we focus on the marketing aspects, we focus on market equity and commercialization of research ideas. Let me just spend few minutes on the business and the research projects. This course is defined based on the to what extent you're able to create your own business. So the business project is basically aims to develop new ideas, new products, new services, new processes for the analysis of trial stages, and from the start to the end, which is basically where are you now? If you look at Dragon's Den on BBC, you will see that investors are coming and present their business ideas, their business plans. We are here to invest X and Y and Z into X and Y and Z. And this product is, so how do we define the product? How do we define the process? How do we define the place? How do we define the the distribution? And is it viable or not? How we evaluate the extent to which this product is investable or not. So we were going to teach you that in the business project. You will work in groups, and basically because this group is coming from different backgrounds, so you probably get students coming from the business side, from the scientific side, and you can work together. And this will encourage what we call the informal learning. So we learn from each other. We learn how to deal with with our projects. The research project is an extended piece of work, and it's a risk-based research to create original piece of research, and that research project will be basically what you are trying to aim, what types or what gaps in the literature review that you would like to address, all the practical application, or you would like to write a case study, about certain contexts. There are loads and loads of opportunities for the research projects, especially for pharmaceuticals, because this industry in particular, and the social scientists were ignored as a context. But now we have a lot of attention to that, and I'm very pleased to be that the Global Business School for Health, myself and colleagues and my students are part of the change in the research direction. So scholarships and funding, of course, at UCL Global Business School for Health, we offer a few scholarships. We have Women Health Leaders Scholarship, is up to 5K, and it is only for female students who demonstrate leadership potential and prepare students to move into senior management and C-suite roles. So we are basically looking for females who would like, to get better chances, and the high diversity, the healthcare industry, especially the business side of things. The representatives, the women representatives, are not as males, so we will try to encourage females. I believe that males and females, they have different innovative strategy, and we would like to acquire both innovation directions into the pharmaceuticals and biotech. And we have the Global Health Leaders Scholarship. That's basically for students from either UK, Africa, Asia, South America, who show exceptional leadership potential in their fields. And that would be really important to highlight in your personal statement, and probably there are measures that we have to take later on. So please look at these scholarships on the websites and make sure you get engaged with us and ask us the questions whenever you need any help. And again, we will continue more with the scholarships. We have the UCL participants in a range of graduate taught funding programs, scholarships and loans that's available from the UCL, and we have a federal US federal funding, so that's also a direct loan. Of course, we have Commonwealth, Fulbright, great masters bursaries from the UK. So all these types of scholarships are available and are accepted in the Global Business School for Health. So once you make the application, then you seek scholarships, and please make sure that you submit your application on time. We've got few unfortunate cases where some of those students they couldn't manage to get the the application on time, and they lost the funding. So please, I urge you to look at the submission deadlines for these scholarships and fundings. So career support, we have 1 week induction before the program starts and focus on personal and professional development. I encourage the students to think about their career from today. Actually, your career already started in the Global Business School for Health in these programs, and you need to think about where do you want to go from the start of the program, or possibly before that. These events are really important throughout the year. Talk about resources and careers workshops. We also invite speakers to talk to you about their experience. They are very enthusiastic. So next week we've got a speaker, the week after we've got a speaker. So every week we've got people from the industry, and those speakers are basically our industry mentors that I was going to mention about in a minute. So they basically provide you with career coaches and industry events. They basically encourage you to think about the contemporary events in the industry, and how you can build your career within the current changes. I forgot to say about the business project. We allocate the industry mentors for you to work with you, and industry mentors, they are doing this voluntarily. So they will be available for you to answer your questions. And they will help you and guide you through the process. They might offer you, their own projects, and they can work on the, work with you on certain ideas. So please, consider this when you apply. And those industry mentors are well known, well established, in the field. So you can ask them about your career. You can ask them about your project. They are happy to help you. So we have services across UCL, career services. We have innovation enterprise services that's available for all UCL alumni networks. So we've got massive number of people who graduated from UCL and now working in the industry, and they would love to make an impact on our students, and that will be really brilliant. To have them. It's a pleasure to have them working with us on this project. So after you graduate, where do you think you would go? So health consultancy, Big Fours, KPMG, PwC, Deloitte, McKinsey, Boston Consulting Groups. They all have offices here in London, by the way, near Bloomsbury. So we have direct contact with them. We know them, they know us, they know about our programs, and they know the potential for these programs for you. So you can be part of the of the process of being a health consultant. You can take managerial role in big pharmaceuticals, biotech. You can say, the pharmaceutical companies, they look at the market from patients' perspective, not from geographical boundaries. So they look at how many diabetic patients we've got in the world. We've got an increase by 10%, and the sorry. And the highest increase is basically in the UK or in Europe, in the US. So we need teams of individuals who are experienced in how to manage the anti-diabetic products, and we want to recruit them in America, or we want to recruit them in South Africa. We want to recruit them in the Far East. So the managerial role, it has no boundaries. And that's why we are basically the global business school, because it's not only limited to the UK market, it is globally, it has a global impact. So companies within the pharma sector like AstraZeneca, Sanofi, Aventis, GlaxoSmithKline, Novo Nordisk, all these companies we have access to. They are more than happy. They are basically looked at your programs, and they are very much excited to contribute into this program and to meet you as well. So when I talk to other industry mentors, I said, my students are basically experienced in this because I read your personal statements. So I promote you very well in front of the industry mentors for future opportunities. We've got the extracurricular activities and student support. So we've got student union, clubs, societies, politics and journalism. So please get engaged. There are so many opportunities to get engaged with different clubs and societies. 70 sports clubs are available, and we have other societies, yoga and dancing, and you also engaged in volunteering, with the charities. We have also a team of student support and well-being to help you in case you need some help. And we have also systems in place regarding the personal duties, and get in touch with your lecturers, and get the maximum support, support that you get from UCL. And this is really quite important and impressive, because most of the students, they are coming from different backgrounds. So this year we've got students coming from more than 16 different countries. So we've got students from Japan, from Thailand, from Singapore, from China, from South Africa, from India, from Pakistan, from the Middle East, from Europe, different countries in Europe, France, Germany, Switzerland. We've got students from America. So we've got students from different types, different sides of the world. And what I would really encourage you to do is to learn from each other, and to get engaged with them using these clubs and societies and activities. That would really encourage you to be involved in these activities. Life at UCL East, it's a state of art. I don't know how many of you have been there, but I was quite surprised myself. It's the size of investment in UCL East. It's great. So you can see this is Stratford, and I don't know if you can see my mouse, but you can see this is Margate and One Street. It's here as well. So we've got these buildings for UCL, and there will be a bit of expansion there. A lot of companies, they have branches there that will be supported by the government. So that will tell you the expansion of London into that area, and that will create much more opportunities for those who are basically, living in here in the east side of London. It is exciting. We have exciting new student accommodation. And I don't know if you have some photos here, but these are really exciting photos and nice views. East Bank Cultural Education Destination, for BBC Music and London College and Fashion next door. Loads of activities, in that area. A lot of shopping. If you are interested in, Westfield Shopping Center, just, Google that. It's the biggest, I guess, in Europe. And 8 minutes from Stratford to St. Pancras. It's actually very fast, so that will take you directly, a direct train from Stratford to St. Pancras. And we have facilities like the use of parks and access to local venues, including London Aquatics and Copper Box Arena. So we've got a question. I will answer all the questions at the end, if that's all right. So living in London, this is the most exciting city in the world, I guess. Loads of opportunities, loads of parks, tourist attractions, and a lot of museums and pubs and clubs. So London has been ranked the top city for students in the UK by QS. So that would tell us something about living in London and getting your education right, because we are keen about the environment, we are keen about the surrounding facilities for you, to do your degree here with us. So we don't only offer biotech and pharmaceutical management, we also have digital health entrepreneurship. That will happen next in coming 2 days, and we've got executive MBA health, and that will be on the 27th. And we have the UCL MBA Health Open Day, and that will be on the 3rd of November. There are so many events here that you can access later on the website, and of course, you would receive an email if you are interested in one of those. That will be as part of the product portfolio of Global Business School for Health. So please put your questions here. I've got 2 here so far, so I will have a look. Please put your name, to your questions if you are unable to answer your questions, and then we will definitely email you back. Admissions, gbsh@ucl.uk.ac.uk. So if you remember any of the questions later on, just feel free to drop us an email, and I'm more than happy to answer all your questions, or possibly have an informal chat with you about your career and about the course. Okay, so find out more from the website. You will find a lot of points that I mentioned here available already in the website. Read the structure of the course, read the vision about the UCL East, read the vision of the Global Business School for Health, and the goals and the opportunities that you might be part of it, when you join the course by September next year. So I'll stop sharing my screen now. All right, so hello again. Let's have a look at the questions and answers. Okay. Hi there, from Mariam. I'm really interested to join your for masters. I'm working currently in GSK. Okay, that's the demerge of GlaxoSmithKline. However, my GPA is not great. What are the chances of getting accepted? I really appreciate if you could guide me. So the first thing you need to do, Mariam, is to get in touch with us and drop me a line, and we can talk about this. We can basically answer all your questions, and I just need to see the paperwork first, Mariam, and then I will guide you through the process. Of course, I want you to invest too much on your personal statement and why do you really want to join the course. I just want you to feel that this course is for you, and how this course is going to help you to build your career in Helen, the fast-moving consumers goods GlaxoSmithKline, and it is quite exciting, to be honest, because this demerge of pharmaceuticals would create loads of other opportunities for management students and business-oriented students. So please get in touch with me myself. I will certainly, if you Google my name, Radi Halub, you will find my contact details, which is r.halub@ucl.ac.uk, and we will take it from there, Mariam. So we've got another question here. If I am willing to take this master's degree from overseas virtual, is that possible? If yes, will I still have to decide to have a choice of full-time, part-time? Unfortunately, Sarah, this is a face-to-face course, so we would expect you to be here in London to attend these seminars and to get engaged with, with the industry, and to get engaged with the reality. We want you to get more in touch with us, get more in touch with industry mentors and with your colleagues who are basically there to help you, and we will guide you through the process. So unfortunately, we don't offer this as an online, or virtual course. But of course, keep, for the time being, we don't offer it, but maybe in the coming few years. But for next year, it will be face to face. Thomas, so I'm sorry, we didn't meet. So I agree, the industry having changed over COVID period, many companies rushed into new products to markets and struggled to balance the commercial risk and compliance risk. This is really interesting, very interesting point. Do you think your course would help me to understand commercial risks better than the compliance consultants? Of course. Well, the question is, we will tell you how to define risks first. So the definition of risk can be misused and there will be a confusion about how do we define risk. Risk of pharmaceuticals means costs, means forces, means impacts, means patients, means reputation, and of course the commercial risk is one of the killers of pharmaceuticals. And one of the cases that I'm using this year is about the stakeholders' impact on the and decision making process, and how we manage the balance between the stakeholders, and that will be part of the commercial risk. So yes, we cover policies and practices, my module. We cover commercialization aspects, and we cover supply chain. So risk is part of all these three modules. We also have pharmacoeconomics, which is basically the change in treatment and the change in market capacity, and that will also be part of your course. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, Mariam, we would welcome you. Of course, get in touch with me, and I'm more than happy to help you through the process. Thanks for the information, Dr. Halub. Please call me Radi Zahra. Which questions will the candidate be asked in the interview? So the interview, it's much more of an informal discussion rather than to be an interview, Zahra. So if you have, for example, something relevant to your application, so please feel free, make the application, and then we can set this up for you and discuss the opportunities and make sure that this you would basically look at the course and make sure that this course is basically what you're looking for, Zahra. And we will set the expectations as well, our expectations of Global Business School for Health, and what our vision for the for graduates. And I think the informal chat will always help. I've got a few, and of course it will also help you to direct you into the right direction. So so when you make the application, if you are basically you have the industry experience and you don't have the undergrad qualifications or the threshold, I call it the threshold, or the threshold point to join the course, then we can basically we will be in touch with you and take that forward. But before you make the application, just have a chat with me, so we can take this forward, and that would be also applicable to you, Mariam, that I earlier on. So what difference between drug delivery and pharma management and this course? This course is basically about the managerial aspects. you are a manager in a pharmaceutical company. The drug discovery, you have labs, you are getting engaged with delivery. It's a nice and great program, don't misunderstand me. But of course, the drug delivery, you are basically engaged with the technical side and the managerial side. This course, in return for pharmaceutical management, biotech and pharmaceutical management, it provides you with the overall, holistic approach of pharmaceutical industry. And we talk about the environment, we talk about the risks, we talk about the compliance, we talk about the pharmacoeconomics, we talk about the commercialization aspects, the supply chain, IP, and that would be only from that angle of looking at the managerial side and the skills side of things. But the drug discovery is a brilliant program, and they offer you, if you're going through the drug discovery process for the originator companies, how this will be managed. So these are the differences between both, between the two types of industry. We focus too much on the environment. I always say business and environment is quite interesting for pharmaceuticals, and how business and environment, from a strategic perspective, how pharmaceutical companies can sustain themselves in the business. Looking at the next question, I would like to know what kind of applicants is UCL looking for? Can you provide a little tips on documenting personal statements? So let me start with the first question. So the applicants, we have the entry criteria available on the website. So these are the type of applicants we're looking for. We accept applicants from from different backgrounds, and as long as you take the threshold point, then basically you can apply. Can you provide us a little tips on documenting personal statements? So personal statement is basically defining or answering three main questions. Shravya. So it answers three main questions. The main question is, where are you now? What do you want to do? And how this course will help you to reach there. So, so these are the three main questions. Personal statement is a reflection of your strengths and how this course will help you to overcome the weaknesses that you have within, that you would like to overcome by the end of this course. So that would motivate us to look at your personal statement. And I strongly advise you, I can't really advise you more about the investing in your personal statement, and think about the personal statement as one of your own products. As I have experience in medtech startup company, so what are the key points admissions team look for in such? So if you would like to write a personal statement, and that personal statement would be relevant to your experience, work experience, so basically what you need to do is how, for example, you are basically as an officer in that company, and you would like to become a manager or a leader or a section manager or a unit manager in your organization. So the question would be how this work experience that you have would fit with the structure of the course and would fit perfectly with what we deliver in this course. So, so for example, you look at it from the research perspective, you look at it from the business perspective, you look at it from the modules perspective. So, so which modules are much more important to you? Is it the commercialization? Is it the supply chain? Is it the policy and practices? Is it pharmacoeconomics? So that's basically important, to identify, for the admissions. And because we look at your personal statement, we read your personal statement with high enthusiasm, to be honest, to make sure that you have, you tick the boxes and you are fine to join the program. So, I have answered the questions so far. Do you have any more questions? I think I've answered that to Sarah. And I've answered, some of the questions here. Answered Thomas, I've answered yours, Mariam. Do you have any more questions um, to me, of course, by all means, get in touch with me. And if you have, thank you so much. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to get in touch with me, or Adam, and we will be more than happy to welcome you in this program for next year, and for September. We are really excited, to have qualified people on board, and to discuss with them how we become much more engaged with the industry, and what type of responsibilities we would like to do. What do we really want to do for the industry? What is the dream behind it? And how the changes, because whenever you want to make a change, the best time is basically when you move to a one cycle to another in that change. So how would you contribute to that change? What do you really want to do, and how this course would help you to do it? I'm here to help you. I've been there. I've been in the industry. I've launched so many products, and I'm more than happy to discuss the opportunities with you in the near future. Oh, we've got another question. What will be the average salary after the graduation? Zara, that's really, good question. We've got students who are basically, starting, in higher salaries, and we've got students, they start at lower salaries, but that is basically subjective. So it depends basically on the available opportunities, Zara, and it depends on your profile. It depends on what you are trying to aim for, what you're trying to do, after you graduate. So it is very hard for me to tell, that would start, from 150K or from 20K. It depends basically on the available opportunities, but we will give you the tools that you need for that, to get the opportunities. Okay, any more questions, please? Right, I've got another one. Just a minute. So here we go. We've got another one. I see there's other programs offered by UCL Business School, which is Global Business School, Global Healthcare Management. Yes. What is the difference between this program and biotech? That's a very, very, very good question. That's a very good question. So let me just explain these three different programs, and then I will talk about the MBA very briefly. I will answer this now for you. So for the entrepreneurship, digital health and entrepreneurship is basically how we start business. How we start up a digital side of business, digital health, e-prescription, mobile clinics is now becoming a trend, and this will going to happen. So this will be part of business startups for the digital side of health, and how this we're going to move forward, in the coming few years. But for the, I will leave the biotech and pharmaceutical to the end. And for the global healthcare management is basically for those who would like to work with charities, the NHS. They need a lot of managers. They need people to lead, their initiatives, and they need people to understand the, the impact of these initiatives into the public, and that would need a certain type of managerial skills, and the global healthcare management would help you to do that. For the MBA is basically for those who are working in the United Nations, and they are looking for the health inequality, and to maintain, the health as part of their priorities. Ministers in the Ministry of Health, or people who might be interested in getting involved with the government, and that would be part of the MBA Health. But biotech and pharmaceutical management is basically for those who would like to establish themselves in a pharmaceutical industry, in biotech industry. The biotech industry are basically, they create products, they are the engines of healthcare management, and they are basically who would support pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceutical industry, they are those who would adapt the changes in the digital health. They'll adapt the changes in policies and practices that are done by the Ministry of Health, and they will also adapt the changes that the NHS is doing here in the UK, or probably charity, organizations or non-profit organizations. So these are the the 4 different colors that we offer in Global Business School for Health. There are a big differentiation between our programs, but they overlap. They are interconnected. They are related to each other, and that's why we are basically call these programs as global healthcare programs or global healthcare business programs that are designed for those who would like to establish themselves and to build the gap as business gap or the scientific gap in their approach. That's a very, very, very good question. So any more questions? It's almost 10 to 1. We still have about 10 minutes. So all you would like to speak, by all means, but remember this is recorded. Just put your hand up and I'm more than happy to answer your question directly. So before you go, any questions? Okay. Is somebody typing here? No, can't find any more questions here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the this session, and I certainly enjoyed the questions and the dialogue. Of course, get engaged, get involved with me or with my colleagues Adam or the director of the school, Noura, for any questions, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions. I've been in the industry long enough to understand the challenges and to understand the massive changes, not only for the ethical products or generic products, but also for for the biosimilar and biotech, and the impact of stakeholders or the forces of stakeholders that would influence the changes in the industry. I wish you all the best of luck in your applications, and I wish you all the best of luck in your career. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me and ask me questions about the program or about something relevant to the pharmaceuticals, and I'm more than happy to help you in making in making these decisions. I believe that this is a big investment for you, and I would like to make this investment as a profitable one, and to set your expectations right. So I wish you all the best of luck. Have a happy Wednesday, and that will conclude the end of this session. And good luck to everybody. Thank you.